Tell me what you had for your breakfast.
Oh, this sounds really bad. I had a jacket potato with tuna and sweet corn for breakfast. Because it was so basically I got a flat tire this morning.
Right.
And, my mum dropped me to the station and I'd gone to hers to sort some stuff out and I was like, I'm starving. I'd been to the gym in the morning, I still hadn't eaten. And I had a jacket potato yesterday and now I'm like sort of like in a jacket potato frenzy and then I said to Mum, you got any jacket potato? She was like, yeah. And so she made me a jacket potato at like 11 a.m.
Nice.
Which was really nice.
Do you know what? I haven't had a jacket potato for ages.
Mate, I think it's like a very underrated meal. And it's just a good, easy lunch. But I had it for breakfast.
But you had for breakfast. Yeah. I mean, it's lunch at somewhere in the world.
You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly. Do you know what I always associate jacket potatoes with?
What?
You remember like when you were at school and you always had after school clubs, whether it be swimming or like dancing or whatever. That always used to be like go-to meal between. Mum would be like, John, jacket potato with cheese and beans. Yeah.
See, I don't really like the cheese and beans option. I'll go for either. I'm a fishy guy, I guess. I like tuna mayo with sweet corn, or like have you ever like prawn mayonnaise on a jacket potato?
I haven't. I'm a bit. Do you know what? I've got this thing about prawns lately.
What happened?
Somebody said to me that they're the cockroaches of the sea.
Okay, yeah, maybe, I guess, but what, are they that dirty?
I don't know.
They're in the water, they've been washed.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a real,
But do you know which ones I don't like? The really little tiny things. I'm like, that's not even a prawn.
Yeah, the little baby, the
what
tiny,
is that?
Yeah, it's kind of silly, but...
That doesn't, just nothing.
It's silly, yeah, I reckon. I like a good prawn. I like all foods.
I tell you what I did used to really like, a Greg's prawn cocktail again.
Unbelievable, yeah.
That's great. See, I would eat that.
I'm a sausage roll man at a Greg. Sausage roll or they do the chicken barbecue baguette. The Greg's is a go-to thing when you're in the UK going to gigs.
Yeah.
Because you'll go up and down the country, those shitty service stations.
Do you know what? Yeah.
Always there.
I saw this post the other day. It was an American media outlet. I can't remember who it was now. And they put, tell me what country you're from without telling me what country you're from. And then, so I was like, all these people putting like random things. And someone put, Greg.
Easy.
I wonder where you're from.
100%. It's the most British thing ever.
It is the most British thing ever.
It's a tourist attraction now.
Yeah, it's always actually probably mega. There's always like a big queue.
There's always a bit of excitement when you walk into Greg's, I think.
Yeah.
If you've got it in the morning, if they've just got it out of the oven as well. Go on, British. Like that sausage roll.
Who was that guy we were talking about when we did that last interview? The Bosch guy.
Bosch. Well, there's two people actually. There's Tom Skinner, who Bosch beds, who does Bosch beds. I think I told you I bought his bed.
Have you got it?
Yeah, I sleep on it at home. It's great.
And how does it feel?
Mine's a memory foam one because of travelling. My back it just feels like a question mark. So I sleep on a memory foam and Bosch bed, and it's unreal.
If you go to bed at night and go,
Bosch, yeah. I mean, it's actually got a Bosch sign on the side of it. I mean, only when you take off all the layers, but yeah. But because he actually does do beds for like cheaper than Dreams or places like that. So
it works.
Tom Skinner got me.
Wait, isn't Bosch also like
it's like a
washing machine?
Yeah, or Hoovers and stuff like that. It's like Dyson.
Is it the same brand?
No.
Oh, because that's BOSCH.
Yeah.
This is proper British.
It's like John. Bosch.
Or
there's the other guy. Have you heard of Big John?
Is he the one that sits with
the Chinese? No.
Oh.
Who's the guy who sits with his coffee?
No, I think I'm getting confused now. Who's the guy that has his English breakfast in the morning at the cafe?
That's Tom Skinner.
That is Tom Skinner.
Okay. He's the one he runs that load. He started Bosch gyms. He started loads. But then there's another guy called Big John, who I'm quite a fan of. Who he's famous for eating Chineses. He's Saturday Night Chinese. Bosch, like absolutely loves it.
Is he British?
Yeah. The most British geezer you would ever see. Both of them are.
And what does he show you?
He just shows you his Chinese, what his order is, and like every time he has it. And now he's become this like Instagram, TikTok sensation where like he'll do appearances as Big John Bosch.
What could we do? We could do a prawn cocktail breakfast.
I don't know what our slogan would be. Troll. Good chat.
The Brits.
The real plant you've got.
Yep.
Good.
Just been growing for many years, that plant.
Homegrown.
It's homegrown. We're still what you did there.
Yeah, very good.
So, how are you?
All good.
Besides, I went flat tire this morning.
But plus I'd had a jacket potato. But,
I don't think that's a negative though. I think that's a winner of a start of the day.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm doing really good. I feel great. I've had the past, life's been very, very busy, but good busy. It's been a crazy sort of year. Just been enjoying it. And it's nice. I feel like you have a lot of reflection when you come to the end of the year, and it's like, I feel good at the moment.
That was my actual first question anyway.
Oh, okay.
I was just literally going to say to you that now that we're coming to the end of the year, and you look back, because you have been non-stop, and everybody's seen how many things you're doing and how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Now, when you look back on it, how do you feel when you reflect on everything that's happened in the last 12 months?
I felt good. It's been great. It's I feel like I've just figured out what it takes and what it is like and what you have to do to be a DJ. When you're younger and you're first getting into the industry, you just think, oh, I'm just going to turn up and play these music here and people are going to love it, and it's just going to be sick, and that's all I'm going to have to worry about. Yeah. But it's there's so much more to it, and it's so much on your body. It's the cliche thing of DJ. You can't really complain as a DJ because it's such a good life, but you have to really look after yourself. And obviously, temptations in the industry is so much drink involved, things like that. Really starting to look after yourself and actually think, oh, if I'm gonna do this for a long time, I've got to start taking it sort of seriously. And that's in this year where it's actually felt like, oh, this is my career now. I never thought I was gonna be a DJ. It just sort of happened. And looking back now, I'm proud. I'm very proud of some of the things I've achieved. I was super tired after the summer, but I don't know. The year before, I feel like I struggled more because I was first getting into the industry. And you're just learning the ropes and you're trying to impress everyone. Like me, I'm a people pleaser, so
same.
You're constantly trying to impress everyone to get further in the industry. And then now it feels like I've kind of really set myself up in a good way, and I've got my brand that's working really well and loads of things that are going on with it. And I feel just in a good position, but knowing that there's still so much more to achieve, which is exciting. So, all in all, I'd say, I think you have to be a bit proud of yourself, because it's it was some things of...
A bit? You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the feeling I'd say. Yeah, I'm actually kind of proud of myself, but no, I'm excited for the next years because there's stuff that's coming and ideas that are happening that are taking things to another level and are pushing my own boundaries. I love it when you can feel like you're actually always stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit and trying to get better and better. But yeah, all in all, this year's been amazing. It's definitely the busiest I've ever been,
Yeah, that's what I mean. You have literally been everywhere and everything.
Summer was non-stop. And there's DJs who are a lot busier than me, which is so impressive. But that side of it, just being really busy as a DJ, you have to actually just be grateful for it.
Yeah.
As much as, every job can be hard and tiring, but if the hardest part about my job, I would say, is that you just get tired and there's a lack of sleep. There's loads of jobs to do that, like a cleaner or something. You know what I mean? So, proud and grateful, I would say, is how I feel now.
Let's rewind a little bit and just go back to and just go back to your beginnings and how you started out. And I always start the podcast just talking a little bit about how people have started their career and what is it for you? Where did your love for music come? Did you grow up around music? How did it all kind of come into place?
I think, I would say I definitely grew up around listening to music because my dad is just a massive music fan. Even last week, he'll drive me to the airport sometimes if I can't get the train or something's wrong or I don't want to get a cab. He's a nice enough dad that he'll take me to the airport. And he'll always put on something like, oh, you should do a remix of this, or listen to this, or listen to Wings, or Phil Collins. He's always got this buzz of music, and I think that just came into me, and I just got that buzz off him. He was always playing things in his car, and he had Motown CDs when we went on holiday. So I would know words to songs of old school Marvin Gaye, things like that. Like when I was really young, and like I think I just got this knowledge of music from him, like a palette of just different styles, which I never really knew until later in my life that it would become quite valuable, because I think all of that gave me a knowledge of just understanding music and having a rhythm. Do you know what I mean? I've always known that I've had rhythm and things like that, and then as I got older, I was an actor before I was a DJ, and I used to do musical theatre, and some people now know this of me because I've said it before, but from the age of 8 until I was like 18, I was an actor, and I wanted to be like...
So that's quite a long time, big period of your life.
Yeah, like at the age of 8, I was in Mary Poppins in the Westend in London, as Michael Banks, the little kid.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was an open audition, and my choir teacher at my school said, Ross can sing, Ross is mine, we should take him to an open audition. And then after like extensive amounts of auditioning, I ended up getting a part in it. And then I was in London 3 shows a week from the age of 8, and then I went into Les Miserables, the musical, and then I went into Oliver, a Stodger, with like Rowan Atkinson and people like that. So I was performing and doing all of that stuff from quite a young age, and in that I was having to sing and things like that. Maybe I haven't sang in a lot of my songs, but I guess it made me quite in tune with music.
Wow.
So that was like the earliest stage of my life, and then...
Do you miss doing that?
Yeah, bits and bobs. Like if ever, I'll still go see plays or musicals. My girlfriend's in musicals and stuff like that, and like when I go see different shows and stuff like that, like I get a buzz off of wanting to be on the stage again. Do you know what I mean? Like you do always miss that, but the industry is completely different, and I sort of fell out of love with it after a while, because you can be the best actor in the world, but if your eyes aren't blue, or it might be able to change out of the day, but if you're not right for the part, you just won't get it.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, it's down for someone else to say no. You can be sick at your job. Whereas as a DJ, I started to see that you can just work really, really hard at what you do.
Yeah.
And it will come off.
And how can you compare being on this? How can you compare like being on the stage as an actor to go and find decks in a DJ booth?
Pretty similar. I'd say pretty similar, because it's all performative. Like, and I'd say that's why maybe I started to do well as a DJ, because I wasn't afraid of performing in front of a crowd and connecting with a crowd, and I wasn't camera shy and things like this. So all the things that I'd learned, which I didn't think would actually help me, learned from being an actor, actually ended up helping me as a DJ, because this comfortability of performing in front of people just was coming out. And so I was finding people in crowds were like very responsive with me, and I wasn't afraid to interact with them and stuff like that, and like it all started to really help me, which I didn't realize it would. And so it's not too dissimilar actually. People think, how does an actor become a DJ? But it's all entertainment at the end of the day.
Wasn't there another DJ that was in Oliver with you?
There wasn't a DJ who was in Oliver with me. There's a guy who works here where we are now. What's his name? I think it's Oscar. He works here at Jukebox.
Yeah.
And basically
That was the story.
Yeah, he was in... so I was at... I can't remember where it was. Maybe I was in the middle of... Was it SXN?
Yeah, that's it.
Was it SXN? Yeah. And we were there together. And he came up to me and was like, Ross, da da da. And I couldn't remember where I saw this guy's face. And yeah, he was in my gang. So as in Dodgers, he was in the gang I was in. So he now works in the music industry. So yeah, I get odd people randomly. I had a guy message me on Instagram the other day saying about this kids' TV show that I used to be in. He said, I want this on DVD. And I was like, what?
On DVD?
Yeah, I was like, odd. Yeah. But but it's quite odd, because it does sort of feel like a sort of lifetime away, or a completely different life.
Does it?
Because as I was such a desperate person as an actor. What
do you mean a desperate person as an actor?
You're desperate in every sense of the word, because you're so desperate to get a part. Well, the good actors aren't desperate, I would say. Like, you're so desperate for approval because you hear no all the time. You're desperate in wherever you are because you think Steven Spielberg is going to walk around the corner and offer you a part if you look cool enough. Like, you're constantly on the edge of and you're constantly in between jobs. and working a job that you might not want to. I worked at a call centre, I worked at Snog, the frozen yogurt shop, I've done Deliveroo, all to try to fund this acting career when I worked very much as a child. Very much. I worked a lot as a child, and then it gets to an age where you're a young boy who's hit puberty very late. So you're not old enough to play like leading man, but you're not young enough anymore to play a kid because your voice is broken and things like that. So you go through a very weird stage where you're quite uncastable.
Wow.
So.
And really, I guess going back to what you were saying before, where at the end of the day, if you're not the part, you're not the part. Yeah. I guess moving into the music industry and becoming a DJ, producer, artist, I guess the difference is you have that space to well, not space, you have to be yourself, and you're the person that creates.
Yeah, you're creating your own part, let's say.
Yeah.
Because some people like think Clapton, they create a persona and then they go and do it, and that's how they do it. Or some people, like myself, kind of give a bit of themselves, but you also hold a bit of yourself away from it. Like people in the industry know me as Rossi, but like all my mates back at home know me as Ross. Yeah. And if people call me Rossi, do what? Like it's clicked in now because now most people know me as Rossi. But at first, you sort of do see it a little bit like a persona because when you get on that stage and you're performing and stuff like that, or even when you're networking in the industry, it's like. Sort of like you see a Rossi hat on a little bit. Yeah. But you're not. I never changed myself as a person, but it's that performative nature. But what's different to the acting world is that you're moulding and building your own part really, as a DJ. And people will follow it if they want to, and if they don't, they won't. But I found that much easier, and maybe so the acting world taught me a lot and made the DJ world. And I was just obsessed with it.
Okay, so where did the DJing part come from?
So, okay, the long story, I guess, is I was sat on a train and I was next to a guy who had his laptop out, funny enough, like that. And he was using virtual DJ, which is what most DJs or anyone will use when they first start. And I just looked at it and thought it was cool. And I asked him what it was, told me, got home, downloaded it, and then literally, that's when the session begins. Like, I was always the kid who had you remember sending music via Bluetooth?
Yeah, of course.
Things like that. Yeah. I was a kid with loads of tracks, and I'd send, have you got this track? Send it infrared, Bluetooth, like all of that at school. And so, yeah, when I was just chilling, I would just get music that I thought was cool and try and mix it together, maybe Dizzy Rascal or Madonna. But then even still, my dad was a big fan of, when I was younger, Head Candy.
Oh.
And he would go to El Divino's in Ibiza, things like that. And so I had this knowledge of Head Candy and Old Defected, that then when I started mixing and just trying and mix in my room, I would just get all the songs that my dad liked and just try and mix them together, or any of my dad's mates like this song, I would start mixing them, and then it just sort of became this small, fun thing on the side of anything else that I did that I started investing in. So I got myself a pair of decks, and my first gig, well, not as a professional DJ, was my cousin's 18th. I turned up with these shitty speakers and just my laptop, and I played the whole night. But it was sick, and I just then gradually started doing 16ths and weddings and all of that, getting a proper pair of decks.
So how old were you at this point?
Maybe 17.
Okay.
It was when I went to boarding school when I was 16, which was a performing arts school. Before then I hadn't. So
in the UK?
In the UK, in a place called Tring. I, at that point, remember just on my sort of time at boarding school, just mixing in my room. My roommate Sammy would be like, oh, he's obsessed with this thing. So it was always this thing on the side. And I was still working as an actor at that point. But then as I started to get older, I realised you could make a lot of money from just DJing people's weddings and things like that. So that started to become my funding for my acting career. But it was fun. But then the more I got no's from acting jobs, the more I was obsessed with going home and mixing. And then I started to learn how to produce, because someone said to me, if you want to be a DJ, you need to start making your own tracks. So I was then that was the new obsession, was making a track. I was like, once I hit 18, I started going raving, and I go to Fabric and watch Craig Richards, or listen to Dance Tripping TV and just watch stuff like that. And in between all that, my dad took me to Ibiza for the first time when I was 16, 17. And I just then had this obsession with Ibiza because my dad sort of passed the baton onto me a bit.
I love that so your dad used to go raving before in Ibiza. Well, you said he'd gone to El Divino and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you say he'd taken you to Music On before?
Yeah, that was my first ever Music On. My dad took me. Well, my dad and a couple friends of his, and it was like I was so young. That's my phone. Let me tell you, I had no idea who Marco Corolla was at the time. Like, and
this would have been what, 2015?
Maybe 2000. It was the second ever year of Music On.
I reckon Music On in Ibiza started like 2012, maybe 2011.
Yeah, so it would have been. It probably would have been 2012 or 13. I remember walking into Amiga like, wow. And then I had this sort of obsession after that night, like, and just seeing Ibiza for the first time, like, this is so cool. Like, I remember going Zoo Project. My sister was there as well. I went Zoo Project with my sister, and like, I was like, this is such a cool thing. And then that really got me into sort of raving. And then I became, on the side of everything else I was doing, I just liked going raving if I could. And then on the side of it all was like making music and raving. But I never thought I'd be a DJ.
You did.
It wasn't the plan. It was not the plan.
Okay,
I wanted to be Leonardo DiCaprio. I wanted to be, or just a really respected actor in the industry. I really wanted to do it. It was all I'd ever dreamed and trained for. And then it was like this thing where I just had this obsession. I'd go, every time I got a no from an audition, I'd go home and I'd be on a train or somewhere and I'd just make music. I never done a lesson or anything. I just would go out and listen to stuff and try to replicate it and try to figure out how to make it in the box on Ableton. And I'd start, then once I started raving, I started meeting people, and then I got my first gig, which was at Cargo for a party called Connected. This guy called Jesse James gave me my first gig. I remember I gave him a CD of my mix, which says Ross McCormack, DJ, bar mitzvahs, weddings, all this stuff. And the first thing he said to me was like, take that off. Like, that's not what people in the music industry are looking to you for. But okay. But he listened to the mix, and then he basically gave me my first gig, but on the premise that I was going to sell tickets. And then that's how you did it.
Yeah.
You would just turn up, try to sell tickets as much as you can, see if you could get into it. And I did. I would just sell tickets to all my mates. I'd even put in extra money and pretend I'd sold more tickets, so he would book me again. So essentially, you're paying to play.
Yeah.
But I was just, once I had that first gig, I remember I played on the terrace. There's a terrace out the back of Cargo, which in this summer, must have been the summer of 2016, maybe. Like, the terrace out Cargo was like popping. It was great. But I was just doing all the warm-ups. And then over summer, I was just doing 3 or 4 connected parties in the terrace, and then at Cargo, and then I started playing like Lightbox. I was just a London DJ. And then on the side of it, that's when I started making music, and I dared to start playing my music in my own sets. I remember the first time I ever played one of my songs. It was called Track A, and it was
nice.
Nice. And
self-explanatory.
Yeah, easy. And it was at Lightbox, and I remember hearing a reaction going, "Oh, fucking hell, wow, that's cool."
Did it pop off?
It didn't pop off, but some people like whistled, and like there was a bit of you got a little bit of something, and I was like, that was the taste. I was like, oh, I never realised how special that was. That was like getting an applause as an actor or something, or a laugh. So I think I was just sending music to different producers and asking for feedback and just figuring out if I could ever get a release. That was like my goal. I just wanted a release.
Did you know any DJs personally? Did you have DJ friends?
From mixing, yeah. So I started meeting early on, like Casey Spillman, or like I had loads of DJs, young DJs in the industry who were just mates, and then I didn't really know any big DJs at the time. Like, Hamza was working, my manager, who I started working with down the line, but he was actually tour manager in Second City. So I was giving my music to Hamza to show him, and he was giving me loads of feedback. Which actually helped me a lot. So that's how I was kind of figuring out if I could make something. And then there's a guy called Joe. What's his name? I can't remember. What's his second name? Is it Wheeler? Joe Wheeler.
Who's Joe?
So. This is so bad if I've got his second name.
We can cut this out.
No, it's fine. He won't mind. But I sent him like a snippet of a song. And then he ended up saying, oh, I want to sign it to my label. I'm starting a label called Modular Records in Scotland. I was like, oh my God, like, someone must have signed my track. And then from there, that's when the snowball really started to become a thing. And that's when I'd say there was the moment where the career started happening, because after that got released, and Jamie Jones was the first person to play it at Kappa Future, and the person who gave it to Jamie was Esther, who's on the next show.
Who's coming in a minute. I love that.
Weirdly enough, so I always thank Esther, because she was one of the person. Hamza sent it to Esther, I think, or no, maybe Esther had just plucked it out. I don't think Hamza sent it to her, because I was fascinated as to how he got it, because it was on vinyl only, and I was like, how has he got this song?
And she found it.
And it was Esther, yeah. So I thank Esther a lot for that. And he played it at Kappa Future, like 10,000 people, and it went off. And from there...
Sorry, how did you know that it had been played at Kappa Future?
Casey Spillman called me. Casey called me and said, you better go on Jamie Jones. I've told this story in an interview, but it doesn't matter. Casey called me and said, you better go on Jamie Jones' story. And I didn't know why, and I sort of skipped past my own song, and I said, oh yeah, them tunes are good. He said, yeah, your tune. And I went, my tune? He said, have you not seen the... I was like, oh, go back on. And then I just saw this unbelievable video of Jamie dropping it into just 10,000 Italians, and I was like, whoa. And I could not believe it. Like, that was the first, like, whoa
moment.
Jamie Jones is playing the song. Like, wow. That was just... And I was like, how's that happened? And I think that thing keeps coming up in my career. I keep asking, even today when you ask me, like, oh, how do you feel like it? I just think, how's it happened?
Do you?
It's definitely. I get a lot of imposter syndrome, because I just think, wow, it's just, how have I just suddenly become a DJ? And now, from say if you fast forward, now I play on lineups with Jamie and
so I was just
release on his label and things like that. So it's like, from a little kid who just had this obsession with music and was just trying to make music that he thought he could replicate someone else's sound or make it. I never even thought I'd make my own sound. And then fast forward to now, like, it's fascinating. It's really it does blow me away, because I go, I'm so lucky.
One of the things that you did this year was play All Night Long at Fabric, which was in April.
Yeah.
What was that like? Obviously, being from London, growing up in London, starting out as a London DJ to then, and obviously raving a lot at Fabric, to all of a sudden doing All Night Long, sold out event at Fabric.
That was like, I'd say, the biggest thing I've ever done, and like the biggest thing that blew me away so far, maybe in my career. There's a couple of things, but that, like, because it was, Fabric is something that's, the stickers there. Fabric is a club that's really close to home, because weirdly enough, I had, at the start, I knew the old owner quite well. I won't say his name, but I would always go to Fabric. Fabric was like the first London club I was always going to, because the owner would just say, if ever you want to go, just let me know. And if I was at a party, I'd call them up a second and go Fabric, and I'd watch Seth Troxler, Craig Richards, Alexis Cabrera, like, all just these mad eyes. Or I'd go and not even know who the DJs were, and I'd just stroll around, flexing through room 3, room 1 that night. I loved it. Like, it was like and at that time, Fabric Saturdays was the thing, and Fridays was drum and bass. It was like not like it is now, and it was just you would go on a Saturday, it wouldn't matter, it would always be busy, and it just was, you could just turn up and not worry about it, and it was great. And so then, when there was a chance that I could do it all night long, I was so nervous.
Wait.
Yeah, because the idea of, like, Hamza pushed me into it. That's why I respect Hamza, because Hamza is a good manager, because he's pushed me into decisions that I thought I wasn't ready for. So even, I'll be honest with everyone, 6 or 7 months before, maybe even longer, the idea of the all night long came around. I was going, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I have the maturity to play a 7-hour set at Fabric. Like, I don't even know. I think Fabric was on the cards at first.
It was somewhere else.
Yeah, it was just an idea of doing it all night long. And then I'd done a really good set at Fabric earlier last year. Yeah, last year, in room 2, and it was really busy and went very, very well. And then from then, Edis was like, we want to bring you back to Fabric. And then Hamza just said, why don't we do it all night long? And so Hamza was like, you should do it. He was like, it's the time. And people were asking people on Twitter were going, when's the Rossi all night long happening? So it was like working out at the time. So we thought, fuck it, we'll just go for it. And originally it was meant to be in room 2, but like the tickets were flying so quickly that after a couple of weeks, Ellis was like, "You've already sold out room 2." He was like, "It's gonna be so busy. You know, we'll do it room 1." And that was like even more like, holy fuck.
God.
So then it was like, I'm playing room 1 Fabric on my own. And then, it sold out. So on the night we'd found out, it just before walking in to Humber's Building State, it said it's sold out, by the way. It's like, wow. So I was like...
Does that make you even more nervous knowing that it's sold out?
Yeah, I guess because I thought I was more nervous to sell the tickets because I was like, fucking hell, like, is that many people going to really want to come and see me in London? Funny enough,
they do.
Yeah. And then I was like, right, you've got to do it. Like, you've got to actually, like, and you've got to give them a good night because you could have an all night long and it'd be really shit. And people are very unforgiving these days. People will post about a set if it's not good and say that set was shit. So it's like, you have that in the back of your mind when you're sat in your room at home going,
what have they said?
What do I play before the gig? Do you know what I mean? And I over prepared for that. I had so much music, and then, but as soon as I mixed the first tune, as soon as it's always like that. It's like this. You go into this bubble when you're behind the decks, and it went better than I thought it ever would, and the crowd were unreal. And also, it was a massive thank you to anyone who knew me from when I was younger as a DJ because they all came. So many people
amazing. I love that.
Yeah, so many people from back in the day, big groups of friends who I'd done parties with or DJing with. Everyone came and really showed support and bought tickets and stuff like that. You're right there.
Sorry, my microphone's
it's falling off. Everyone had bought tickets and come and decided to show support, and it was just that was a really special feeling. But it was amazing.
I was just going to say, I love hearing stories about DJs that have raved in a certain city or a certain club, and then actually go and play in that club. And just must be an incredible feeling.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was so weird being in room 1, playing for that long, and I was just like, how's this again? How's this happened? I remember being over there watching Sepp Stroxler and standing there watching all these people and seeing Jamie in that booth, you always imagine, I guess when you first start getting into it, well, what would you play if you were playing the peak time at Fabric? And then you're in that moment going, fucking hell, what am I going to play? But it was all good, and I think I was very proud of myself for playing how I did. It was really good, and it was a mind-blowing night, and that was enough. The most recent biggest step up, I would say. I think it really showed people the level of what I can do, and also giving you a bit of headline status. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which is a hard thing to start achieving in the industry. So, I thank everyone for that night because it was one of the best nights of my lives. I think not the night of my lives. It was one of the best nights of my life. Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that I wanted to touch upon was Glastonbury, because it was your first time actually even going to Glastonbury.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
Oh my God, don't even talk to me about Glastonbury.
Why?
Because I didn't get my tickets last week. I was so upset. I had alarms on. I got all my friends. And some of my group friends got through and mine didn't. So I was in such bad.
Yeah, because I know loads of people who got in this year, and a lot of people who didn't as well. But that was me last year. No, this year. Was it this year? Yeah. That was me this year. Me and Hamza applied.
And then I just played.
Yeah, well then it was sort of, it was amazing, and it was also a bit of who you know, because basically I knew I hadn't got a ticket, and so I started messaging around people who were promoters, and knowing who does stages at Glastonbury, saying I really want to come. I was like, I just want a ticket. Can anyone help me out? And then Ollie Ryder hit me up. Ollie Ryder, who does a lot of amazing parties in Manchester, and just said, do you want to play my stage? Yeah. And I was like, play? I was like, I just wanted a ticket. And he was like, no. He was like, come and play the stage. I was like, no way. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to play at Glastonbury. And just in general, it's a phenomenal place. It's like Disneyland for adults, and you can just be exactly who you want to be, whatever age you are, whatever you look like, whatever you stand for. You can experience Glastonbury in your own way. we were doing beekeeping at one point, and then going and seeing like this cosplay in a forest, and then suddenly you're watching Loyal Kana, and then you're going to watch like Elton John. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was just everyone's so happy, on a happy vibe. And like the set, I was thinking, right, I've got a gig at Glastonbury, but I was like, no one's really going to be at my stage. In the grand scheme of big, there's loads of artists there, and there's
loads of stages.
So many. There's always something going on. And I was closing this place called the Flying Bus, and I just was wondering if anyone was actually going to be here. It was rammed.
Was it?
Yeah, absolutely rammed. I was so, I love it. It was just another one where I was just so grateful, and it was a morning where I was like, man, I just played at Glastonbury, but also just the whole experience of it as a person, I would highly recommend to anyone. That first day at Glastonbury, I didn't have a gig that as a set that day, but it was one of the happiest days of my life.
Oh,
just walking around, the sun was out.
That's a statement.
Yeah, it really was. I was with Casey and Hamza. I keep talking about Casey and Hamza in this podcast. But
that means they're a very important part of your career.
They are. And
I love that.
And
I love Hamza.
Yeah, we just had a very special day together, and then the whole day, it never rained, and just it was a bit hot at times. Like when you're waking up in your tent at 9 a.m. and
Rossi
blaring.
That's the absolute piss.
Yeah,
I know.
All I've heard is that like if it rains, it does ruin it a little bit.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think fingers crossed. I think I'm going back this year. Sorry to annoy you.
I'm going to wait for resale and then just I don't know. I need to find a way.
Yeah.
I might try and
see if I can help you out.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the video where these people pretended that they worked for a sandwich shop and they had to bring in the lettuces?
What for? To go into Glastonbury?
Yeah. So they had like this big bag of lettuce. Hi, Esther. They had a big bag of lettuce. And they're like, sorry, I have to refill the sandwich shop, and then they got through.
Oh my god, amazing! Loads of people do that though.
I know.
I know a lot of people use it. But you can get spun in definitely. Yeah. But I'm paying, so I'm not going to tell you to do that. But,
that is not a good idea.
But all in all, yeah, one of the best experiences of my life. It was so good, and I was speechless at times. And it was nice because I'm always listening to house music. A lot of the time. It was nice to go to concerts of like rock. There's this band they called Royal Blood who I'd never heard of before. They were before the Arctic Monkeys. Also, I felt like a 16-year-old kid at the Arctic Monkeys. Absolutely loved it because I never seen them play. And they were unreal. As you see so many artists that you think, I would have never gone to see them. And I'm a big fan.
I was working at Primavera Sound this year in Barcelona, and it was the same. There's like, you've got like house techno stages, but then it's proper like concerts.
Yeah.
And Blur were playing, and I
had,
oh my god, the best time ever. Like in front of the stage, and like proper in the crowd. It's just such a whole different experience.
100%. Like also when I was watching Alex Turner from the Arctic Monkeys on stage, I was like, mate, that's rock star. Like that's a different level of like fame, and like I got on Hamza's shoulders and looked back. The sheer size of the crowd that he's playing to, it's just like what?
Insane.
Like, and like flares are going up, and like I love it. It's really got me back into like live music again. I went to see Bakar last night. Do you know Bakar?
I don't know
Bakar. You sing the song again?
Where here?
No, Hammersmith Apollo, yeah. So it was really good. But it's made me want to go to more live stuff going to Glastonbury because I was neglecting it.
What live concerts would you like to go and see?
Well, me and my friends asked the question that if you had to choose your Glastonbury headliners three days, who would you pick? It's quite a big question.
That is a massive question.
I've always said if Oasis ever come back, I have to. I hope it happens, but I just don't know if it will.
Be incredible.
You know who one of mine is? Usher. I would die to see Usher. Because I just know so many of his songs.
Usher would be great.
I'd die to see Usher. Karangbin. Do you know who Karangbin are?
No.
I said you who they are. They're a band from America who are inspired by Thai funk from the 70s. And they play this really chilled, cool, acoustic-y, easy music, but they are incredible. They are my favourite band, and I'm forever trying to see them.
Thai funk.
That's what they've been inspired by. If you look up Thai funk from the 70s, you'll hear this cool, chilled.
Nice.
And so I'll send you them after. But Karangbin, if ever you're just having a chilled day, or if it's a rainy day, or you're on a bike, or you're on a boat, listen to Karangbin. Why?
That's a really good question. Like Glastonbury question.
It's quite a big one.
That's a really big. I would definitely say Oasis as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know who always want to see in concert? Beyonce.
Oh, you never seen Beyonce?
Never seen Beyonce in
Oh,
concert.
Beyonce's fabulous. She just puts on a real show.
But that's it. I've seen Madonna and it was good, but I think Beyonce would be more spectacular.
Yeah, Beyonce. I've always Jamiroquai as well.
Oh yeah, Jamiroquai would be amazing.
Yeah. Jamiroquai is a big one for me. Can't remember. I used to love now I've been to rock concerts. Rock concerts are sick. Kasabian.
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys was
Arctic
on the list, and
Monkeys.
then I saw at Glastonbury. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Trying to think. There's a band called Jungle.
Yes.
I really want to see that. They were in London not long ago, but I was playing at Eastern Electric the other day. It's got
Oh no.
Jungle. They're jazzy, and they do these unbelievable music videos.
I'm really obsessed with recently. Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with, but yeah.
I really like that. Don't know if it's about a headline for Glastonbury, but
I mean, pick him just to go see him.
Yeah.
Krangman wouldn't headline Glastonbury yet. Maybe they will one day. But
oh, there's just so many, isn't there?
Yeah. Love music.
I want to talk about Homegrown.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes, well, we have to call it now Homegrown by Rossi.
Okay, Homegrown by Rossi.
Have to call it that because of
legal reasons.
Legal reasons, yeah. That's my first learning of the legal battle of the industry.
Really?
Yeah, as in, I've been using, since ever coming up with the idea of brand, Homegrown was the word I liked because I was always obsessed that people can be like inspired by like their surroundings, like the food you eat, the music you listen to, or the TV that you watch, the culture that you're from can inspire the sound that you made as an artist. So I was always more excited about listening to different kind of styles within the realms of my stuff. And so the idea of the word homegrown, people are homegrown from where they're from, do you know what I mean? And everything that there is in their environment. So that's where the word homegrown came from. And it was like, just for a radio show.
So it didn't start off being a label?
It started off because I got an offer to do a 4-hour show on Ibiza Global Radio. Years ago.
Actually, do you know what? Sorry, just to interrupt you. I woke up 4:30 this morning because I had food poisoning the last couple of days, and I hadn't prepared the questions. And I woke up at 4:30 this morning, and I was like, I had some written down. I was like, I need to finish, and I couldn't think about when you're just not well and you just can't get stuff out. So I got at 4:30 this morning, and then I finished all the questions, and I went back to sleep, and then I had a dream that you cancelled because I was an hour and a half late. And then I woke up and I was like, shit, Rossi's not coming. And then I was like, oh no, actually.
When it's actually that real.
Yeah. That is how weird it was.
I hate that moment. But actually sort of a sigh of relief, you go, fuck me, thank God that wasn't real.
And then I had a thought that we did a show with each other.
That was the first time we met.
Yeah.
First time I ever met you, yeah.
Which was in like 2013, 14 or 15?
No, later than that.
Was it?
16, 17 it would have been.
So my question was, what show was it for? Was it for It's All About the Music?
I can't remember. Was it Ibiza Guy? I don't know. There was a 4-hour slot. Or was it, what's the other one at Ibiza?
Ibiza Sonica. But if I wasn't working at Ibiza Sonica, I'd worked at Ibiza Global Radio.
But maybe it was Ibiza Sonica that I got asked to do a show for. Not play for you, as in like, or maybe it was Ibiza. But basically, there was this, Hamza had been given this opportunity where they had a 4-hour gap on this radio show, and they wanted an artist to do like get mixes or get people on the show. So I was, from being an actor, pretty good, and I'd always wanted to have my own like maybe little show. And so the idea came where I'll do it and I'll get an artist on each time. It's like that. I had to get 2 artists every other month to do a mix each, and I wouldn't do a mix myself, or I did at first, and then I'd introduce them, talk a bit about them, and explain where they were from, what their inspirations were, a bit about their sound, so that when you've done a show, you would listen and hear a bit about the person. Because I used to hate that you listen to a mix, you wouldn't know anything about this person, and things like that. Some people like that. I wanted to know a little bit more about the artists I was listening to. Found it fascinating. So then I thought I'll start doing intros on my radio show. And that's so we needed a name for the show, and that's where Homegrown came about. So it's a homegrown radio show.
And it turned into a label.
And then it was like it was getting very long to do a 4-hour show. So we just thought we'd just do it ourselves. So we stopped doing it with Ibiza. Sonic or Global Radio, I can't remember which one. And just started doing it on my SoundCloud. And then that's when the brand started, and the clothing brand came first. We started making jackets, and we just started making jackets because we thought they would just be cool. Hello, Esther.
Hello. We've been talking about you on the podcast.
Yeah, you was talking about how you were the person who sent my tracks, Jamie. When we
She's bad.
take it back.
You can bow in front of the camera if you want.
Very good.
Well done.
So yeah, it started, and then we just thought we'd make these jackets just because they would just be cool to have jackets that no one else had that said Homegrown on them, and then posted a picture on Instagram. I can't buy these jackets, and we thought, we don't want anyone to have the jackets, so maybe we'll just make hoodies or t-shirts instead. So
because you just wanted to keep the jackets for yourself.
Yeah, we wanted them to be our thing.
Yeah, okay.
That if you were in the crew, you had them. Do you know what I mean? So then we started making jumpers and numbering them. Hamza's such a marketing genius. Numbered each one, so it'd make it
each individual one.
No, we done it with jackets, but with the capsules of the hoodies, we numbered each release. So the one release, or two release, cool. And it has the number on them. So then, and then that's what suddenly it was becoming this brand, Homegrown. But and then it was like, I should start a label because I tried to not do it too soon.
Yeah.
I always take my time with things. I never want to rush stuff. So after a couple of years of doing the podcast, and then we had the clothes, I thought, I'll release on my own label. So we set up the label. And then the label's been going sort of really well. The release has gone well. I've got the next release is in February. I won't say who because I haven't announced it yet, but it's wicked. Being paid a lot by myself. Chris Stussy at the moment, and loads of people go wild for it. But it's just going from strength to strength, and people are obsessed, especially with the clothing stuff. They were sending out like mad, and people were constantly messaging me, when can I get the new t-shirt, which I'm fascinated by. And also you're learning so much from doing that, starting to get where you're getting your manufacturing done from, and
it's a whole new world.
It's another string to your bow. And so from starting a brand, I've always wanted to expand the brand instead of it just being a music thing. Just have so many different sides to it. So it's called Homegrown by Rossi.
Okay, so now we can't just say homegrown.
God, it has to be called Homegrown by Rossi because there's other people that have used the word homegrown, and they sent us some showing words letters.
Is that why your homegrown in your Instagram has got the X instead of that?
No, that was just because homegrown was already taken on Instagram. Okay. So we just put an X there where the O was, and now that's the thing. Loads of stuff. That's why I've got a dot at the end of my name.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people ask if you're Italian, by the way?
Loads of people.
When
I played the After Cup Brazil last week, people even still come up to me.
Rossi.
Rossi bello, come stai bene? I know a little bit, but that's as far as I go.
Really?
Yeah, and they all think I'm Italian. This guy, he come up to me at After Cup Brazil, the second or third time I played there, he was like, Rossi? I was like, yeah. He's like, you're not Rossi. And I was like, yes I am. And he's like, Rossi, he's Italiano. I was like, sì. And I was like, I'm not Italian, but I am Rossi. And then he was like, walked away. And then after the gig, see me playing. He was like, you're Rossi. And I was like, yeah, that's me. But that came, my auntie was Italian. She passed away now. But whenever I would go to her, she would always call me Rossi.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, where's she from? She plays for Roggio in Italy. And she would always call me Rossi, as a nickname. And then when me and Hamza were thinking of names, we had some awful names. RMK was an option. Goldilocks.
Goldilocks?
Yeah, because curly hair. What else was there?
Imagine.
Just Mac. Just Mac.
Just Mac?
Yes.
What's Just Mac?
Because McCormack is my second name, so Just Mac.
Just Mac.
Didn't come off. And then, so Rossi, and Hamza was like, we have to imagine it on a flyer somewhere. And then Rossi came out, and it was great because it didn't sound English. It didn't want to sound English. But then the reason there's a dot was because on Beatport you can't have the same name as someone. There was already a Rossi from years ago. So I just said to Hamza,
interesting.
I don't want to be Rossi UK.
Yeah.
Can we just put a dot at the end? And it works. So we're like,
so that's
a dot has to be or an able thing. So yeah, now that's become the marketing.
I don't actually know if there are any other DJs that have that dot at the end either. I know there's people that have the caps,
different,
WAF and
But now we've started making it into a marketing thing. So like we've made these homegrown sunglasses, and on the front of them, it says, "Can you see the dot?" And we're just trying to make it into a thing instead of just be like, "Oh, there's a dot there." And
Interesting.
Make a thing out of it.
And I think it stands out on a.
Yeah,
doesn't it? With the dot.
Yeah. There's a point. I'm here.
I'm here.
Bosh.
How did your first homegrown event go?
Really well. It was the most.
I'm sorry, I can't say the name of the venue. How do you pronounce that word?
ArcelorMittal Orbital is what it's called. I don't know what ArcelorMittal means, but yeah, it's basically the biggest art structure
in Europe,
and it was an idea that I've had for like 5 years. Whenever I drive past it a lot, and my friend Dion was like, "I think you can do events up there." He was like, "I think I've seen some corporate events." He was like, "You should do a party up there one day." He said it to me years ago, and I've always kept it in the back of my mind that if I ever done a party, that would be the first place I'd do it. And then like power of manifestation, someone that I know who I told about the idea of doing it, then said he knew the general manager, the guy who just become the general manager of that place. So then he was like, "Do you want to do a party there?" Yes. No one's ever done it. And apparently there were some other brands who were trying to get into it. So I was very, very lucky at the timing that I got. So they approached us earlier this year. And we weren't going to start the parties until next year. So it sort of fast-tracked it. And again, Hamza was like, "Let's do it." And again, I was a bit scared about the fabric thing. I was like, "Fuck it, let's go. Try it." So it's always Hamza just going, "Go
and do it.
And I'm like, "Oh, it's like jumping in the puddle." "Oh, all right, fuck it. Wow, splash." But yeah, it was amazing. It's just putting on your own event, another thing. You're just learning it's a whole different ball game, especially from just being a DJ. Just there's so much to think about. All I kept thinking was like, I hope no one dies. That's just all I kept thinking. I was like, is the structure gonna fall over?
Is the structure gonna fall over?
Yeah, because I was
Wait, had they done a rave in there before though?
They had done mix mag stuff in there.
Okay.
That was but it was private, so it wasn't like a proper ticketed event ever done in there before.
Okay.
So I was like,
oh my god.
And I was like, people are idiots, and I don't want. You're thinking of all the things that could go wrong. Is the sound going to cut out? Because how much power does this building have? How am I going to get the speakers up there? You've only got this tiny bit. Like, it became like so much to think about. And luckily, I've got a very good team with Hamza and someone who works with me called Amy. And it was brilliant. And just like, we just really worked it, and it came off very, very well. And you learn things. There was things that went wrong, like in any event.
Of course.
But as a first event, I was so proud of it, and like we live streamed it all. So we recorded it all. So we're gonna be putting out the sets online. And again, that was a moment I was stood behind the decks, and I had done the first set and the last set, showing off just doing 2 sets. But I thought it'd be nice to open my own party and do the first like an hour and a half, so that when people walk in, they're like, and the sun was setting at that time, so it was really cool. And I had this moment where I'd worked so hard at getting this event going, and I was like, I can't fucking believe this is happening. Like, I'm behind these decks in an iconic place in London doing my own party, and then people started walking in. I'm like, oh, they're in. Like, it was just fascinating. Like, and it was another moment where I was like, how have I got it? How's this happened? You know what I mean? Like, but it was amazing, and everyone at the party was sound. It was full of really good people.
Like, good vibes, good energy.
Good vibes, good energy. People were so up for it, and like, I think when you're in a very obscure venue, people's minds open up a bit and they just want to have fun. And that was like it was a special moment this year doing that. There's been a lot of good moments this year.
We've had loads of special moments.
Fabric and that were the 2 big ones.
Another special moment I want to talk about this year, and just kind of going back to the radio thing, is that you're a resident on Rinks FM this year.
And now just become a resident.
Well, you just come from about
I recorded my first one today.
And how was that?
Very good. It's great. I was doing the proper keep it locked, keep it mixed. That felt very cool.
Oh, I love it.
You know when you're flicking it off, shouts out, I was like,
did you do any shout outs?
Just anyone whose music I was playing, I was like, big up. Trying to be very cool. Not very cool. But it was amazing. And it's cool. Very cool to be asked to be a resident for Ridge. Like, it's just always been a staple part of like the London sort of, and in the industry anyway. But it's kind of nice this year, just doing a lot of London proud stuff like Fabric, being a resident for Rinse, and I do it. So I'm doing it every second month, the first Saturday.
Second month, the first Saturday.
First Saturday of every second month.
Okay.
Let's just go.
Counting down.
So imagine it comes out this weekend. My next show won't be until February. That's how they do it, because they have so many residents.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Every
cool,
first Saturday of every second month, and it's really cool. And it's gonna be
But this isn't. You're calling this Rossi. This is
this is me. I might have guests on it. I might have someone come and guest mix and stuff. But yeah, this is the Homegrown by Rossi stuff stays with my SoundCloud.
Okay.
And I'm still got guests coming in on that as well. So there's like loads of channels of outlets that we're doing.
How much do you love doing radio? Because it's like my favourite thing in the world.
Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. And it's nerve-wracking getting it all right and the buttons and stuff, because like you're live or something. Or recording and stuff like that. But
I think it's so nice having a space, like it's not like going to a club where you have like a specific time that you have to be playing for, or a certain crowd or a certain space. It's like this is actually your space to curate whatever you want.
Yeah, and also for me, it's nice on radio that I can play some music that I don't often play in the clubs. That's a bit maybe just down tempo, or showing new coming artists their music and giving them a platform. And that's what I like about having the show. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm going to try and break it into sections where I do like introductions where of like newcomers' songs and explain a bit about them, and then do a mix at the end, or get someone in to do a mix. So it's like a proper radio show instead of just doing a mix.
Is it an hour show you radio?
2 hours.
Oh, nice.
So it gives you that
time.
freedom to do it. So yeah. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool walking into Rinse and doing that.
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah. Another exciting moment this year, which both me and Esther were at, and it was so much fun. Bret.
Oh, Bret, yeah. Bret, yeah. Bret was unbelievable. Yeah, that was like a
best place on earth.
It was an amazing day. We partied. It was very good.
We were very excited that day.
And it's also because like everyone in the industry is together, just having like a proper vibe, and it was a good crew that day. Like everyone was like really, and that day was my final day at ADE, so I'd had like 4 gigs that ADE, which was really busy, and then obviously finishing on doing Joseph Capriati's party at Bret, which again that was another moment. I'm like, oh fuck, is this all happening?
Exactly. And again, I think Capriati is an artist that you've like followed and gone. I think I read a post once that I travelled the world to go and see.
Yeah, like it's funny when you play on people's lineups like that, even like Jamie or something. He's like, I've paid so much money to see you in my life. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm before you, or like so that's always a very surreal. And I'd been to Joseph's party at Bret for the numerous years that I'd been to ADE. So when I got a call saying that the team had been talking about someone they wanted to play before Joseph, and it was me. I said, no way. Like, wow, why? Like, that's so good. And it went amazingly. And in true Joseph style, he turned up like 2 hours late. So I played for like 4 hours. So playing 4 hours at like one of the clubs that is my favourite clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Before that, him and just in front of an amazing crowd, was such a special morning. So the rest of that day, I was just on such a high. It was so much fun. And yeah, I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah, we all did. I think we all enjoyed ourselves. Do you see what I mean when I started this podcast and I said, you have done so many things this year. Now that we've had this 4-hour conversation, you see how many things you've done?
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It is good. Okay, what 3 things you look forward to in 2024?
3 things I'm looking forward to.
Or 3 goals for 2024?
Goals. So basically more frequent releases on my label, which is happening, and so that's like I really want to build the brand even more. I want to take it to the next step, and same with events. So we've got some wicked events lined up.
Okay.
Homegrown by Rossi, which I'm really excited about. And goals, just this sounds really bad, but just like stay healthy and good. Do you know what I mean? Like. I really want to just make sure I'm just all right mentally and things like that, which sounds like such a cliche answer, but
no.
It's a massive thing I'm even working on, of just trying to just make sure you're focusing on the right things in the industry, not the wrong things, you know? And that's like something I, definitely like I'm focusing on, especially as I'm getting older in the industry. Goals, I don't know.
How old are you?
28. I'll be 20. I'll be 29 at the end of this month.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to say be 23rd
23rd of December. What are you?
Like August.
Oh, I thought that's what you.
No.
You're high fiving me. Okay.
I just because I'm.
So high five. Woo,
It's not Christmas, baby. That's why I was high-fiving you.
Worst time of the year to have a birthday.
I know, that's why I was high-fiving you, because I feel sorry for you.
No, it's the worst. It is the worst. But yeah, 2024, very much looking forward to, and to be back in Ibiza, but even though it's just a wild time.
It's a hell of a wild time.
Yeah.
I could sit and chat here with you for hours, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel as well. Let's keep going.
Sorry, yesterday. I always ask everybody at the end of the podcast, because the podcast is called "Can You Put Me on Guest List?"
Yeah.
If you have a guest list rule.
Mate, this is such a great question, because this year I've really come into like the world of like the amount of spam you get from people you don't know, who maybe don't even follow you, who are asking you. Oh, here's one. I got a message from someone while I was at Glastonbury asking me to get their mum into Glastonbury while I was inside Glastonbury, and I was like, "What? No way!" Like,
wait a minute, let me just go and ask.
do you know how hard it is to get anyone into Glastonbury? And I guess because they knew I was paying, so they might have thought there's an exception, but it's like a fortress there. You have to go through 5 layers of like different things to get in. But my rules are be straight to the point. Don't mess around. Like don't pretend you're having this fake conversation because you want to hang out with me or see me again or like whatever. Like just don't make something up and then go, oh, by the way. And because as soon as you hear the by the way, you go, oh, it's all you ever wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah, so don't do that. Just come straight to the point. Send the names in a nice list so you can just copy and paste it.
Without little lines.
Yeah, there's just perfect, easy, nice list, nothing else.
No, one.
And just like respect if you do know me. If you don't know me and we've never really met, and it's like, and you don't even follow me on social media. I get that a lot with random people who don't even follow me or support me really. So, oh, can I have a guest list for this? No, you can't. Just buy a ticket, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it. If you really wanted to come, you would have bought a ticket at the time. I think loads of people just think, oh, well, wait till 2 days before. I'm just going to ask. Don't ask me on the day.
Do you know the crazy thing is though? Imagine you worked at like a restaurant or somebody works at a hotel or something. You'd never just message them going, can I have a free meal tonight?
Yeah,
or can I have a free room tonight?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the same thing. Like it's just but yeah, don't ask on the day. Like, because it's just usually not going to happen.
Literally everybody gives that answer.
Yeah, I bet.
Let's give them.
Yeah.
Right, just to end, I'm going to say a word and you just got to say the first word that comes to your mind. Ready? Don't look at my list. Okay. Ready?
Got it.
London.
Fabric.
Ibiza.
Ross.
Saturday.
Night fever.
Email.
Chained.
Beer.
Vest.
Fruit.
Lobster.
So that's what I thought. New York.
Pizza.
Pancakes.
Baby syrup.
Joseph Capriati.
Bret.
Paradise.
James.
Lemon.
Herbs.
Fabric.
All night long.
Pen.
Right.
Football.
Tottenham.
Yes. Homegrown.
By Rossi.
Yeah. Are you a Spurs fan?
I'm a Spurs fan. Oh, I've tried to never tell anyone who I support.
I actually saw a picture of you at. Who did you go with? I can't remember.
To Tottenham, yeah, with Hamza and Mark Leicester.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark, because that was Mark, the most Canadian man ever. Like, oh, I really like these games. Like, he was like, oh, they really shout at each other. Like, I was just like, oh, you're in for a ride. You're Tottenham Chelsea.
You were Tottenham Chelsea.
Fucking nuts. Like, and he was like, the atmosphere is amazing, right? And I'm just like,
what's going on now? They were doing so well. Let's not talk about it.
Well, this is my dad's pissed off at me because I finally got to go to a Spurs game this season. And the game I went to, we had 4 players went off. One player got a red card. And now all of our players are injured and we lost 4-1. And I'm like, you'll never come to Spurs again. So you're
so you've jinxed it.
I'm the reason the Spurs are losing at the moment, probably. But yeah, I've tried not to tell people I'm a Spurs fan because everyone hates Tottenham.
I know.
So like, if people find out, oh, Rossi's a Spurs fan, fuck that geezer. Do you know what I mean?
My family are massive Spurs fans.
Yeah, my dad has been a season ticket holder forever. So I used to go loads, but now I work at weekends. It's just sort of impossible. But I've noticed if I don't watch Spurs, we play better. So I've actually been doing a thing where I don't watch a match of the day, and we seem to do all right.
Now we know what's happening. Now we know.
Fuck this guy.
It was so nice to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I'm excited for your 2024.
Thank you. I'm excited for it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's very special.
Bye.
Ciao.